What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Wolfpack Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Dillon Clemens. Here with me, as always, are my two co-hosts, Micah Plant and Ike Body. What is up, fellas? And happy Scott Fishbowl week.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I was so excited to draft this week until I listened to your advice, Dylan.
Jesus, man. You're just going to come in at me like that all because I talked to you into drafting Austin Eckler, who's just going to be an absolute stud anyways.
He's super safe. I'll give you that. Super safe. But in Scott Fishbowl, you got to take those, risky picks. You got to take those ceiling picks. And I came into the mindset with drafting, double tapping QB right away, and Russell Wilson fell to me at that spot. I think it was stupid value to pass up on Russell Wilson, and I was stupid enough to pass up on Russell Wilson. But yep, I'm excited for Scott Fishbowl. How's your guys' drafts going?
Pretty solid, man. Mike and I are actually in the same division, the Chicago division. There's thousands of people in this tournament, and we decide to,
get in the same one for some stupid reason.
Get in the same division. But I'm digging my team so far. Ike's going a little off the rails, but that's okay. But before we get into that, because we're going to get into our Scott Fishbowl teams, and then we're going to do a teammates ADP same position battle. So we're going to talk about two guys from the same team and say whose ADP we like better that play the same position. But before we get started to do that, let's I want to remind you guys, please go to fantasy6pack.net/plans. Use the promo code F6P early for 25% off the first 100 members. A membership plan, guys, for $10 a month, you get access to the cheat sheet and projections, access to our award-winning rankings, the F6P Discord, direct access to the F6P writing staff, and weekly AMAs. And just you can come in and chop it up with us in the Discord. We have a ton of fun.
Oh, it is fun. I'm always putting in funny memes and NFL updates. And we can make fun of Ike and the Scott Fishbowl strategy.
Come on, dude.
Nice segue, LaPlante. Is that whose team we want to start with going over?
You guys can do it. I'm out of here. I'm just going to
Come on,
so
man.
They already gave you a little bit of info. They're in the Chicago division. Did you tell them your picks? Dylan's the 103 and Ike is the 106. Does that sound correct? You're the 5. Okay. And we're going to bring in Ike's team here. They're through 6 rounds already. Yeah.
It is super flex, guys. Yeah, let's talk about that.
You see, there's no quarterbacks there, so that's not good for me.
Yeah, it is super flex. It is crazy scoring for the quarterbacks. Like, you get negative points for incompletions, a lot of points, negative points for
4 points for interceptions.
Yep. Stuff like that. But Ike decided to bob when everyone else weaved. I mean, I like the value of Jonathan Taylor at the 105. He's the best overall player in fantasy football, so I get that. But
it's very contrarian, and in this tournament style of a game, it could work as long as he can hit on the quarterbacks. If he can get lucky.
Unless you're in a draft like me, who's just taking every quarterback possible.
Well, why don't you tell him a little bit about that Dalton Schultz pick?
I just wanted a good tight end. That's all I really wanted, to be honest. And that way I don't have to worry about that position anymore for a little bit, I guess.
After you took Jonathan Taylor, were you planning on going quarterback?
Stafford, but then the girl picked him right before me. So I spent probably about 30 minutes looking at the quarterbacks like, I don't want any of them. I think it was Trey Lance. The best one.
Trey Lance.
Tua. It was actually one of the best ones at that time. Stupid fly. So I was like, I'm just going to take the top receiver at that point. So I took Jamar.
And then it was wild at that point because Tua had went at I think at 304, not too long after that. And then another quarterback wasn't taken for 2 full rounds. Did you see that? That was crazy, man.
Yeah, because after Trevor, it's like, do you really want Matt Ryan at round 4? No, I don't.
Yeah.
So I'll take Nick Chubb and all that. But I could see, if I was able to get Matt Stafford instead of Jamar Chase, it would look a whole lot better, obviously. But
Yeah. And you did have a chance at Trevor Lawrence, but you went Dalton Schultz instead. I think that's what LaPlante was kind of
Sniped
insinuating.
the shit out of Dillon.
Because like we've been talking about in Slack that Trevor Lawrence is
Yeah, you guys all really like Trevor Lawrence, which is good.
like
I mean,
Joe really likes Trevor Lawrence, thinks he's like the last guy in that tier that can be good in this format.
QB1 upside.
Yeah, yep. But
his offensive line barely got better, so I don't know. We'll see.
I like your team. Obviously, you got.
If it wasn't Superflex, it'd be solid, bro.
Yeah, I like your running back. I love your running backs. I like your receivers. You got a solid tight end, and you get Dalton Schultz picks up a ton of first downs, and you get an extra point boost for tight ends and other players catching first downs. So that's nice there too. And then Brandon Cooks, he's just very, very solid.
So let's move on to the other person in this division with Dillon.
Yeah, I'm at the 103 guys, and I was hoping Herbert was going to fall to me. He went at 102. Allen went 101. So Mahomes fell in my lap, and I'm cool with that. The plan was to go quarterback, but there just wasn't anything like we talked about really there. Like Tua was probably the best guy. And then I ended up just going with the safe. We kind of talked about it earlier, the plan, Austin Eckler, who if he stays healthy, he's just going to be very solid. This is halfway PPR, so he gets a little bump down because he's receiving back, obviously. And then the next one still didn't love the quarterback, so I just went best player available and Diggs. And then took my big swing with Saquon over Aaron Jones. What do you guys think about that?
I would have done Saquon over him.
I'm a big Aaron Jones advocate this year, just because of the Davante Adams departure. It's going to increase his target share tremendously, and they use him more like a wide receiver than any, kind of like Alvin Kamara was used with Sean Payton. So I think it's a toss-up right there. I mean, you're definitely swinging for the fences with Barkley because he has finished as the RB1 before, and it's totally in his realm of possibilities.
Mm-hmm. And he's going to get all the touches pretty much. He's going to get 15, 20 carries, 5, 10 targets.
Mm-hmm.
My only concern is still the offensive line,
and health, obviously.
Health, yep. But predicting, good health. He does have a new offensive scheme with Brian Daboll. They like to throw the ball a lot to the running back. I think he's got good PPR value. It's just, can he stay healthy and can he break off those big runs like he did his rookie season?
Yeah. Right. Yep. He's a big play waiting to happen. That's his thing. And my next pick, I thought I got great value on Deontay Johnson. I thought that I was going to need to draft a quarterback finally, but I saw there were the three left that I felt like were in the same tier of the play. You might disagree, but I had Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, and Matt Ryan, those three in a tier. And I know one guy behind me had two quarterbacks already, so I knew I was going to get one of them. So I waited and just went with best player available.
You played the game.
Deontay Johnson. Yep. And then Trevor Lawrence ended up getting picked at the turn. And then I ended up with Justin Fields, who obviously the upside's there with his rushing ability, but he might throw some incompletions, and it's pretty scary in this format, and some interceptions. So it's definitely a wild card. Would you have taken Matt Ryan over him?
Over Justin Fields? No, I would have probably. I mean, he's safe, but I like that upside of chasing that upside at QB2.
Mm-hmm.
And I know partially the reason you picked him is so Ike wouldn't have him at his point, so.
Yeah, and I wanted to take a swing with Fields too, because I have Mahomes, and ideally Mahomes is one of the safer quarterbacks there is, theoretically.
Yes. But other than that, you're pretty even around, and that's what I aim to do in these big leagues is try to be balanced. Fill out that starting position before you start stacking in on a certain position.
Just scared on the tight end position, my dude, because it's tight end premium, like we said too, and we're now going into that tight end dead zone.
You're right, but you got to.
Look, Mike, I'm pretty sure TJ Hawkinson is still available, actually.
Yeah, you got to take a shot on one of those tight ends like last year. Like, look at Gronk. Nobody drafted Gronk early at all. He was going in the teens. He was just fine. I know Joe reaped the benefits of Gronk. Dawson Knox. I mean, not many people drafted him very early. You could even get a Robert Tonyan maybe.
Yep.
And hit on him.
Earmuff it for me. And like Irv Smith, Cole Kmet, I like those two, later.
Well, I already know about Cole Kmet, but Irv
I already
Smith's
got
a
my
little
tight end.
surprising.
Sure.
But,
Well, yeah, I was gonna say let's see your team. You're way further along than we are. You guys are just flying.
Why am I seeing
Yeah,
a Michael
because-
Thomas on there?
Disgusting.
Because-
I already talked about my disgustedness with
That's
him.
fine. I
Alright,
did
let's
not
go-
reach
let's-
on him at all. Look at that wide receiver 37. That's insane value for a guy that has 90 receptions in his realm of possibilities. He finished as a wide receiver 1 in his past. It's possible. And to
He's
get him
not
at wide
even
receiver
practicing.
37,
And we haven't seen him play in 2 years, man.
there's been
He's
videos
not
of him
practicing.
practicing. They're fluff pieces, but there's videos of him practicing.
All right, we shouldn't bombard him with the Michael Thomas stuff. Let's let him go.
I
through his
understand
team
it, but
first.
like
Yeah.
I already
Whoa.
got my full
TJ
starting lineup.
Hawkinson, you got really early.
Actually, no. When I looked at him, his ADP was actually going earlier, so it's been creeping down.
Because Dillon, you should get Hawkinson. That'd be round
I was
8
gonna
for
say,
you.
he's fallen in ours pretty far. LaPlante, why did you go 10? Why did you pick 106? Because in this format, guys, we pretty much got to pick our draft slot.
Yeah, you're right smack dab in the middle.
Yep. Why did you go that way?
Half the reason is because I'm not affected by the third round reversal at all. There is a third round reversal in Scott Fishbowl, so if you draft, early round picks, you're going to get the late round picks when it comes to the third round, and it's kind of a disadvantage. So I just kind of wanted to be right in the middle. And then also this year, I had kind of like 5 quarterbacks in that tier 1 that could, finish as quarterback 1, and outpace Josh Allen. That was in the realm of possibilities. And I managed to snag one of them at that spot.
Kyler ain't one of them.
That is such a lie. He finished as QB1 a couple years ago.
This is Scott Fishbowl, though, where you need completion percentage, touchdowns,
yeah, and rushing yards are worth 6. Rushing touchdowns are worth 6 points, which he gets.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, and if he runs the ball,
What did he get for rushing touchdowns last year? 5.
Josh Allen only got 7.
Only.
What do you mean? It's a two touchdown difference. The difference is Josh Allen threw more touchdowns, and if Kyler Murray takes another step forward, he can absolutely throw 30+ touchdowns. But that's Kyler's bugaboo, is he's actually never thrown 30+ touchdowns.
Yeah, I think his highest was like 25, maybe.
Absolutely, I believe it was actually 24. But he's in a pass-friendly offense. He also runs the ball. The one thing that sucks is, Cardinals love to run the ball in the red zone. So Kyler Murray, if he's going to do it, he has to break it off kind of about 15, yards out. But he's got the speed for it. The one I kind of felt like I reached out was Trevor Lawrence a little bit. But again, like we talked about, he kind of is that last quarterback that has that, QB1 upside. All right. The one I'm most proud about is probably Brandon Cooks at wide receiver 22. I think that was probably the best value I've got in this draft by far. And hands down to my division in the Green Bay division, hardest people I've ever drafted with. They take value at every spot. It is not easy, guys. I almost wish I was in your division because I feel like even you two wouldn't have sniped me this many times.
I would have purposely done it.
I don't think so. Not when you don't draft a quarterback.
No, I would have purposely not picked a quarterback just to snipe you.
You wouldn't have sniped me on my 2 picks for Kyler and Trevor then.
I would have. I would have known you like Trevor because of Slack, and I would have been picking him right before the plan. I would purposely pick a pick right before you, so I can do that.
Oh, sure. But other than that, we are moving pretty fast. We could probably move on to the meat of our show if you want to do that, Dillon.
Yeah, let's do that.
Talk about what we came here to talk about, and not just gloat about our drafts that haven't even started yet. That haven't even finished yet.
Sure. But yeah, like I said,
send you a third running back.
Yeah,
Ramondre. Yeah. I don't want to talk about it. We're removing it before we get any more ideas.
But yeah, like I said, we're gonna do a teammates ADP position battle, guys that play the same position on the same team, who we want and who we don't want. First, we're gonna start with running backs. Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon from the Green Bay Packers start off with Michael Plante's team. Aaron Jones going off the board as the RB13. This is Fantasy Pros ADP, and then half point PPR. AJ Dillon goes off the board at RB25. Aaron Jones last year played a 51% of the snaps. AJ Dillon 42%. Aaron Jones saw the bulk of the targets in 15 games at 65 targets. AJ Dillon only had 37. And then you got AJ Dillon with 187 attempts in 17 games on the ground, and Aaron Jones with 171 attempts. LaPlante, who would you like to have out of these two and why?
Man, I'm going to be honest. I'm a little split here. I know I'm a Packer fan, but I'm giving you my most unbiased opinion here. I think the best value here in this backfield is A.J. Dillon. All right, one injury to Aaron Jones. It's A.J.'s backfield all to himself.
Bingo.
He's going to get 200, plus carries, probably 250, touches altogether. But barring any injuries, I think Aaron Jones is still the player to have, this year, because he is falling, in these drafts to where, he is actually pretty good value. Because, like I said earlier, a little sneak preview is Aaron Jones in the 8 games without Javonte Adams, and thank you, Ian Harditz, I believe is where I got that stat from. Aaron Jones in the 8 games without Javonte Adams averages 2+ yards ran per target, which blows every other running back out of the water because their typical, yards per target ran is 0 or negative because they're throwing screens or, behind the line of scrimmage passes, kind of like we see with, the Niners and Debo and, Ayuk and all them. So that tells me that Aaron Jones is going to be used a lot as a receiver and most likely will be Aaron Rodgers' number 1 target. So I think he'll be the better player. I think he's got the realm of possibility as his finishing as a top 5 running back.
Holy.
But A.J. Dillon can eat into that.
There's no chance he finishes top 5 if A.J. Dillon's there. No chance.
Why not?
I would bet you $100 right now.
He finished as a top 5 running back when he scored the 19 touchdowns back-to-back years.
You think he's going to score 19 touchdowns?
He'd have to be uber efficient, and
that's what I was.
You can't say never because he already did it. Exactly. He had 19 one
without
year.
A.J. Dillon.
And you're talking about one of the most efficient offenses in the league last year. Do you know that they actually had the second slowest pace of play after the Seahawks?
That's a good point.
I just think top 5 is way too high.
Which means they use their running backs. They plan on doing it. So I think the better player here, the better who's going to get you more points is Aaron Jones. All right. But A.J. Dillon absolutely is the better value just because you got to go a little bit early for Aaron Jones. But Aaron Jones is going as running back 13. That's not even a running back 1. I mean, that's kind of stupid for being in an offense with Aaron Rodgers without Javonte Adams.
And like you said, I do agree with you, LaPlante. I think he's got top 5 upside. He just needs to score 15 touchdowns.
Which
I
to
don't
there.
know if he has to.
I think he does.
I think he just needs to rush for double-digit touchdowns, and he'll get probably about 6 to 7 receiving touchdowns.
But Mike, we just saw Austin Eckler score 20 touchdowns last year and finish his RB3 still. And he is a better
top 5
back. I agree, but you just said you don't think that he needs to get 15 touchdowns to get there. That's the point that I was trying to.
You said rushing touchdowns. I don't think he needs 15 rushing touchdowns.
No, I meant 15 total. No, I meant 15 total.
You said I believe you said rushing. That's why I said that. But 15 total, yes, which is possible for it.
I mean, I had a chance to draft Aaron Jones and Scott Fish, like I talked last night, and I took Saquon over him. Just with that, I think I would rather take someone else who's going around that Aaron Jones range, like a Saquon Barkley. DeAndre Swift's going a little bit before him. Maybe Leonard Fournette, but I might swing Aaron Jones there because I'm perfectly okay with waiting for A.J. Dillon and having him be my RB2, in the 5th, 6th round. I'm totally okay with that too. So I think, like you said, I think the value is very, very, very good where A.J. Dillon is going to draft.
Very, very good.
What do you think?
I'm comfortable with going, like Aaron Jones in the second round. If you're going like a wide receiver like Justin Jefferson or Cooper Kupp or Jamar Chase in the first round, I think Aaron Jones would make a sufficient RB1.
Okay, sure. Ike, what do you think?
I was a little thrown off by the top 5 Aaron Jones running back. That just flabbergasted me because
he's done it before.
Yeah,
I will seriously.
I thought our points.
I don't care that he's done it before. That was without AJ Dillon having a snap share over 50, which he's going to have. And when he has a snap share over 50, he ends up as a running back 1.
Alvin Kamara never had the full workload in New Orleans, and that motherfucker finished.
He's nowhere near Alvin Kamara. Stop saying that. You telling me he's as good as Alvin Kamara?
If Aaron Jones can score double-digit touchdowns like 19 and 20 back-to-back years, that Alvin Kamara has never even done. But Alvin Kamara has never even done that.
AJ Dillon wasn't playing though. What? It has playing time now. He's going to get 50%.
You act like he was always the only running back. They just used him majority of the time. They had backup running backs that they tried to fill in all the time.
Jamal Williams,
but he wasn't getting the red zone. I do kind of get what Ike's saying, but Aaron Jones I'm just going back to how efficient Aaron Jones is in the red zone too. Like it's just going to depend on who's in the game, who's going to get the red zone carries to me.
You would think that Aaron, AJ Dillon, this big, muscular, thunder thigh motherfucker. He's a great red zone back. You would think they use him majority of the time in the red zone. When that's not the case, he only had 7 more attempts in the red zone than Aaron Jones last year, and then Aaron Jones had more targets, tripled the targets than AJ Dillon had last year. That's
not that much better, but he played significantly less. So to me, that's actually really good that he had 7 more carries in the goal line.
AJ Dillon played full 17 games and yet still had less red zone touches than Aaron Jones.
But you said he had more goal line carries, right? Or whatever you said.
He had 7 more goal line carries, but Aaron Jones had 11 more targets. So
because AJ Dillon's not going to get as many targets, which he still does get targets, that's why I like AJ Dillon too.
The point is the red zone, where we want these points, these touchdowns. Aaron Jones is the guy that's in there majority of the time, even though we think it's kind of that transition period into AJ Dillon.
Top 5's a little spicy, but that's you guys.
You know what's spicy? No quarterback through round 7.
Good one, man. That's actually.
Is that supposed to hurt me, or
no?
Did I offend you by saying Aaron Jones is not a top 5 running back, or what?
No, that's just saying.
I must have offended you.
You want a spicy take?
He's just got top 5 upside. Just top 5
Gary
upside.
Says, hey.
That's it. Hey, Gary.
What world?
I don't know. The world where it was 2019 and 2018, I believe.
All right, guys. I'm going to steer.
Without AJ Dillon. Okay. Are you not comprehending that?
I'm going to steer the ship in another direction, guys.
Please and thanks.
We're going to talk about the Denver Broncos running backs here. Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon. Javonte, you want to talk about something spicy. He's going as the RB11 off the board still, and it was very close to a 50-50 timeshare last year. Javonte played 51% of the snaps. Gordon played 47% of the snaps. Crazy to me here. They both ran the ball 203 times. Javonte Williams
almost the same yards, close.
Yep. And then Javonte Williams had 53 targets. Melvin Gordon had 38. Ike, who do you like out of these two at their value, and why?
For value, it's Melvin Gordon because he's going as like running back 35, somewhere around
36.
That.
Yep.
Yeah, that's insane for a dude who is probably going to play 40. I'm not going to say 50 because that's kind of stupid. I'm assuming Javonte is going to get most of it, but 40 to 45, I'm assuming, is Melvin Gordon. So he's easily going to beat out running back 36. Like, come on.
If he gets 200 attempts again, there should be no
200 might be a lot. I'm thinking maybe, hopefully, like 180 would be nice.
He had 200. He had 203 in 16 games last year. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Obviously, it's going to change because
it might a little bit, but Javonte pretty much said he came out and said that he has the same role in the offense earlier this offseason. So I really think it's going to be another 50-50 split. I just don't understand why the difference at ADP is 25 spots. I kind of think that you were insinuating that as well. That's wild. 11 to 36 for a split that's 50-50.
I think Melvin Gordon should be more in the 20 range maybe, or Javonte should be back more towards like late teens maybe.
Yeah, like I would rather have. I mean, I might sound like a Saquon truther right now, the way I'm talking about it, but I'd rather have Saquon over Javonte Williams. I'd rather have DeAndre Swift over Javonte Williams. I'd rather have Aaron Jones over Javonte Williams, and probably rather have Leo over Javonte Williams.
I don't know about that one. I've seen some videos of Leo. He's not looking very healthy. Did you see him on the treadmill? Totally off subject, but did you see him running on the treadmill with like the 3 other guys? Dude, he was huffing and puffing, bro. He was struggling.
That's funny. But I'm just thinking he's just got that backfield to himself. I feel like Rashaad White doesn't scare me too much. So
as a rookie, no, not really.
Yeah, LaPlante, how do you feel between these two?
Man, I love Javonte as the prospect and the player. All right. But when it comes to where he's being drafted, I think he's just being overdrafted a little bit. Because I'm trying to find it. Where is he? Come on. There we go. It's like running back 11.
Melvin Gordon's gone.
Yeah, like running back 11. All right. Like I just told you, Aaron Jones is going 13. If Aaron Jones was going 11, I still would take it, all right, because I've seen Aaron Jones do it before. Javonte Williams, yes, we've seen a little bit of what he can do, but we've never seen him in a full workload, just this 50-50 split. We don't know if he can, actually sustain it. I pray to God he can, because he looks like an animal. But we don't know. We haven't seen it before, and this is all speculation, all potential, all right? And we're drafting him as a running back 1. I mean, you are drafting him at his ceiling.
Absolute right massive ceiling. Yeah. Fine.
Yes. Yep.
Where you are drafting Melvin Gordon at running back 36, which is
dirt floor.
That's below his floor. I mean, we just said it. He split right down the middle with Javonte Williams, had 200 touches.
They're finished right by each other.
Almost 250 touches, guys. What you add in the 38 targets, yeah, that's like 240 something. That's silly, and you're getting him at RB 36. Like you said, he might be down to the 220 touches, but still, he doesn't suck at football. We saw last year; he's still got a little bit left in the tank.
And you've seen he can produce in a timeshare because he's been in with Eckler forever, and then this one now too. So,
and the thing is, guys, is he's actually being used in the red zone more than Javonte Williams.
Sure.
He had 40 attempts in the red zone last year compared to Javonte's 31.
And I feel like Melvin Gordon was the bigger play type of guy. Like he had the bigger runs or the bigger catches or whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of like a thunder and lightning combination we got going here. Where I mean, Javonte, I can't see him.
Lightning, but
I don't know if he's going to break a long one. Where Melvin Gordon, we've seen him break a long one.
Yes, it's weird. It's weird to say.
But I think he can do it. It's just we got to see it first.
Sure. But yeah, I think we're all in pretty good agreement there. Let's jump over to the next one. We got the Dallas Cowboys running backs Ezekiel, Elliot, and Tony Pollard. Zeke, RB 18 off the board. Really good value there, guys. Tony Pollard, RB 31. Last year, Zeke, while he was injured, mind you, 66% of the snaps, Tony Pollard 30%. Zeke out-attempted Tony Pollard by 100, 237 to 137. And had 19 more targets than Tony Pollard did as well. Ike, I know you're kind of digging Pollard this year. What's your infatuation with him after I just gave you those numbers?
It's literally only what they said over in the training camp is that he might be more of a slot guy or his usage is going to go up. It was one of those two. So I'm like, if his usage goes up, he's going to finish as top 30 running back, I would assume. Top 24, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know about Zeke, man. He's one year he's slow and out of shape. This year he starts off good and now he's like injured halfway through and he won't take a game off. It's just weird. I don't know. Zeke is one of the hardest running backs to gauge.
I didn't even believe that he got 1,000 yards last year.
Mm-hmm.
But believe it or not, he did 1,002, right?
Yeah.
He still averaged 4.2 yards a carry, which is totally sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just wasn't Tony Pollard's 5.5 a carry.
It's just
which I'm assuming won't be that high again because
Right.
that's pretty stupid.
It is pretty stupid efficiency, but I mean that's what happens when you're the complimentary back to Ezekiel Elliott.
Right,
You're
yeah.
gonna get
Right.
you're not going to get the stack boxes like Zeke.
And Pollard's always going to look explosive because he's always going to be more fresh than Zeke is.
Yep.
Like where
He
Zeke's
could
going
see
at
more
RB.
stack boxes though.
Yeah, right. Where Zeke's going at RB 18, would you guys rather have Cam Akers over him, or would you
No.
rather have Zeke?
Zeke.
Yeah,
you rather
Zeke's
have-
fallen and fallen, so he's becoming good value.
Would you rather
like-
have James Conner or Zeke? And James Conner is a prime candidate for negative regression on touchdowns with
Zeke probably.
Yeah, I still go Zeke.
Antonio Gibson or Zeke?
Zeke easy.
I have Zeke at like 15 in mine, I think.
Montgomery or Zeke?
Zeke.
I mean,
Don't like Montgomery.
it gets a little closer there because Montgomery's, kind of the full workhorse there. I mean, I know Khalil Herbert's going to get some touches, but it's David Montgomery's backfield.
They're saying
But it's
actually
just-
that he might get more of the receiving work and less groundwork. That's what I saw the other day on Roto's Edge or whatever it is.
Oh, so he's the new Tariq Cohen, huh?
Well, Montgomery is a good pass catcher, man.
Yes.
I mean, he's not Tyreek
Yeah.
Cohen, but he definitely has the ability.
Khalil Herbert's good on
to do
the
it for
ground,
sure.
man.
Yes. Yep. But yeah, that pretty much has us at Zeke at RB 15 because I'm assuming you guys are taking Fournette over Zeke.
I think Zeke's got the, believe it or not, better value in this one over Tony Pollard.
Same. Just because it keeps falling and falling and falling.
Exactly.
Wow,
like-
I didn't expect to get a clean sweep on this one, guys. I really didn't.
Ike was the only one who I
expected him
picked
move
it to
up,
fight
man.
this.
I didn't expect him to be RB 18.
That's true. But let's go ahead and jump into the next one. The Cleveland Browns, who's had just an absolute wild offseason. We're going to talk about their running backs, the tandem of Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Nick Chubb's going off the board at RB10. Little spicy there, guys. And Kareem Hunt's going as RB30. I don't have snap percentages or anything for him because obviously they were both hurt at different times of the season.
Kareem only played 8 games, so.
Right. Ike, out of these two, who would you rather have?
Kareem. It's Kareem every day. Take him at RB30, and he's never finished below RB11 in the full season. Well, yeah, because I had to. I wanted 3 running backs, but he's never
why didn't you go get
below
Kareem Hunt?
RB11. At RB11?
I was kidding.
Are you fucking high?
I was gonna say, go get your guy, man. It's
not my guy. Stop saying these guys are my guys. They're not my guys.
You're just not gonna attach your legacy, your word.
It's
You're
to
not gonna
T.
attach it to
Higgins.
Anybody?
Higgins,
the easy one, huh? Okay, I see how it is. You picked the
easy
lowest
one. He has to compete with Jamar Chase
in a pass-friendly offense. He gets 100+ targets. It's shocking. T. Higgins is going to do well.
Let me ask you guys one more question about the Browns offense. If Deshaun Watson, let's just say, gets 10 or more games, are we just fading this Browns offense as a whole with Jacoby Brissett steering the ship? Or do you think he's going to be okay enough that this run game will still be pretty decent?
running backs will be fine.
You think so? Even though they're going to see 8 in the box all day long because Jacoby Brissett has been awful the last 2 times that we've seen him come in for Carson, or who was it? Someone in Indy. I'm blanking on the name, and then we saw him come in for Tua last
who was
year.
The one
he was
Indy?
just
I can't think of
absolutely atrocious. Who was the quarterback before Carson Wentz?
Oh, Jacoby Brissett, guys.
That's what we're talking about. Who did he come in for? Didn't somebody get in?
Andrew Luck.
I mean, no, they went with Jacoby Brissett after Andrew Luck retired.
You're right. He was their quarterback.
And then he got replaced by that one dude, right? Or something.
By Phillip Rivers.
Yes. So Brissett might have started most of the season. He might have started.
He did.
Close to a
He
full
absolutely did, because when I was statting out the Cleveland Browns, I actually found a full season with him. He threw like 3,500 yards. It wasn't great, but he had a full season.
Interesting,
3,500 yards.
I have no interest in Amari Cooper because Brissett's my quarterback, to be honest. If he's their quarterback. But I don't. Yeah, I might shy away from the Browns offense as a whole. But that might just be me, LaPlante. You got anything to add, pal?
I mean, I like Kareem Hunt for his value. That's about it. I might take Kareem
running
Hunt
back
just because
30 is insane.
if yeah, exactly. If Nick Chubb goes down, he's the lead guy. You're getting him at running back 30 value, which is just stupid because he's at least an RB2. He's a flex play every week, even in that offense. With Baker last year, he was a flex play. I know Jacoby Brissett, is not Baker, but at the same time, he's not much worse.
Mm-hmm.
So this offense can
I like
still,
that
comprehend with Kareem Hunt, still in the passing game. So I love Kareem Hunt, but that's about it. I'm kind of shying away from Nick Chubb.
Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of on the same page. I'm not loving this offense this year, like I said. Jumping to the next team and our final team here for running backs, Rashaad Penny and Ken Walker of the Seattle Seahawks going real close together at ADP. Rashaad is going RB32. Ken Walker, RB35. We saw Rashaad Penny show out at the end of the year last year and just burst out of the scene after missing most of the season. And just like I said, he finished out outstanding.
I'm assuming this could be a clean sweep, yeah?
Who do you want out of these two?
Rashaad Penny, yeah.
It's Rashaad Penny till he gets hurt, right?
That's why I'm leaning Ken Walker.
Sure. Oh God. Okay, that's fair.
I think I'm leaning Ken Walker just because I don't trust Rashaad Penny's health. I trust he has the higher ceiling, but believe it or not, I think Ken Walker's safer.
Let me ask you this. This is a little bit of a weird question. Might catch you guys off guard. If you're at one of the ends and you kind of waited on running back a little bit or maybe went hero RB where you took like a stud in the first 5 picks or whatever, like McCaffrey, Eckler, are you okay with double tapping the Seahawks running backs and figuring it out later? Like who's the guy, or is that doesn't interest you guys?
I'm never really a fan of double tapping any backfield. I mean, unless you're getting it for a handcuff, that's a little bit different. But if you're
Madison,
well, I mean, Ken Walker is kind of Penny's handcuff, I guess.
I mean,
yes.
I think it's going to be a committee. The way that Seattle wants to run the ball, I mean, do you think Rashaad Penny is going to be able to handle 20 attempts?
I think it's going to take till bye week for Ken Walker to finally bust through. You know what I mean?
I mean, he coming out of college. I mean, yes, Breece Hall was the guy, but Ken Walker.
He won the best. Although Ken Walker won best running back though in college.
Exactly. So like he's still very talented with the ball and getting in between the tackles. And Rashaad Penny might be the passing back.
Unfortunately, they got to try Penny to start because he was on a tear the last 5-6
games. They'll try.
So you can't just throw that away.
I'm sure that hamstring injury that we heard about, a month ago will, come back up.
Week 14 against
the Texans, exactly.
26.3 points. Week 15 struggled a little bit, only 5 points. Week 16 in your fantasy championships, most likely 19.5 fantasy points. Week 17, if you're still playing fantasy, 31 points. And then if you're crazy like us in our league and played the last week of the season, he had 25 fantasy points, guys. The last 3
he was
games.
an RB1 or just under 1 in all those games.
Oh no, yeah,
except for that one very bad one.
100%, he was an RB1 4 out of those 5 games. It's just
he won people leagues if you picked him up on the waiver wire.
He was the running back 1 in 2 of those games, I think.
He's just gotta stay healthy, man. It sucks that we have.
Now we can see why they picked him first round, I suppose.
Right, you saw the talent last year towards the end of the year. It was finally good to see. But like you said too, LaPlante, they obviously like Ken Walker, and he won the best college running back in college last year. So
they wouldn't have spent they're rebuilding, and they spent a 2nd-round draft pick when their offensive line is shit on a running back. When they already had, somebody like Rashaad Penny, maybe it's insurance.
Oh yeah, 1-year deal.
Future.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's the future because Rashaad Penny.
For sure. This is Penny's prove it deal or whatever.
Exactly. And if he can't prove it, well, you know what? We got to back up and contingency plan.
Ken Walker is very good in Dynasty, I think.
Do we agree on Chris Carson being gone?
Done, yes.
Not until it's said.
Okay.
I'm leaning that
I'm
way.
just
I
gonna
really
say no,
hope
that's a wrap.
fantasy. I hope he's able to play again because neck injuries are scary. But if he comes back, that just muddies the waters even more, and then probably makes me not want Seattle's backfield at all,
I wouldn't
even at
expect
their
him back.
value.
I'm staying away from Chris Carson, but hey, guys, we're analysts. We're not, witches and wizards and predict the future.
I am.
We don't know what's gonna happen. Good luck. I'm gonna make sure I tie a cinder block to your feet and put you in the lake.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. What, you doing mob hit on me?
No, I want to make sure that you can't harm me with your voodoo.
This took a wild turn. But
I'm going to be the one that argues for Ken Walker in this one, but you guys can take Rashaad Penny.
Sure. Let's jump over, switch positions here. Let's go to wide receivers now, guys. And the first one, I like this one. Ike's probably ready to rock and roll too. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins of the Joe Burrow-led Cincinnati Bengals. Jamar Chase, wide receiver 3, T. Higgins, wide receiver 12. Let's stop there. I might have asked you guys this on a different episode already. Just give me a quick answer. Can Joe Burrow sustain 2 wide receiver 1s throughout a full season?
Yes.
I'm not as confident as Ike, but I believe it's possible.
Okay. Jamar Chase saw 23% target share. T. Higgins 20% target share. This was the big outlier. Jamar Chase 13 touchdowns. T. Higgins 6 touchdowns. But T. Higgins actually out-targeted Jamar Chase in the red zone 13-12. Ike, out of these two, who are you picking at value?
Well, let's see. Jamar Chase is going around Justin Jefferson and Stephon Diggs, so that's tough to do. T. Higgins is going around Tyreek Hill and who's 11? Michael Pittman, I think, maybe, or Mike Evans, maybe, somewhere around that area. So, I mean, either way, if you're high on the Bengals receivers, that's good value. But if you're not, oh boy, you don't even want both of them really, because getting T. Higgins at wide receiver 10 is definitely get him at his very top floor. Like that's the best he can do, I think.
Wide receiver 12. He's going off his way.
I don't think he can get higher than wide receiver 10 probably, because Jamar Chase is there.
Jamar Chase is going as the 9th overall player off the board. So in 10 teams league, he's going in the first. Even in 10 team leagues, he's going in the first round. Justin Jefferson is going a pick ahead of him.
I'd rather Justin Jefferson, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. We've already discussed we'd rather have Justin Jefferson this year over Cooper Kupp. At least I would. I don't want to put words in your mouth. Oh, you're nodding your head at me. But yeah,
I was gonna say
this one's tough.
ADPs. I pulled up the actual ADPs, and to give you a little bit more of an example of the players going around there. Jamar Chase is the 3rd wide receiver off the board, going ahead of Javonte Adams, Stephon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, and then we'll kind of, I don't
know why you threw in CeeDee Lamb there, but
because
Javonte Adams and Stephon Diggs, you can make a case easily for those two to get
absolutely
get past him.
And then T. Higgins has, players like Mike Evans, Keenan Allen, Deontay Johnson, Terry McLaurin. I'll even throw AJ Brown.
It's tough, man. It's really tough. Obviously, he's going to be better than AJ Brown.
I think I want T. Higgins over all those people besides Keenan Allen. But I don't want to get too far into that because we're going to talk about.
I'd rather have Mike. I'd say Mike Evans is the one.
That's the one I would rather take too.
Because I think Keenan Allen's going to lose out to Mike Williams this year. I think this is the year it happens.
Are you guys okay with T. Higgins as you walking away with T. Higgins as your wide receiver 1?
No.
Wide receiver 2. Wide receiver 2 it has to be. I'm the T. Higgins guy, bro, but you can't have.
Here's the thing. You're probably not getting away with getting him as your wide receiver 2.
Exactly.
He's going as overall 29, so you're looking at him in the middle of the 3rd round. So if you double tap running back there you have to pick him as your number 1 receiver.
So
you go running back,
receiver. Running back, wide receiver, I can take him as my wide receiver 2. I'd love that.
I'd be super cool with him as wide receiver 2.
I love Jamar Chase, and sky's the limit for this guy. I mean, he
the only thing that worries me with him is
I don't care. The way he plays, I haven't seen a player like that good or that electric on the field since kind of like Randy Moss. Like the size.
He reminds me of Odell.
Well, he's as fast as Odell, and so was Randy Moss. Randy Moss might have been faster.
And he makes those big. See, Randy Moss was that guy who's like, "Hey, just go deep and just burn everybody." But I feel like Jamar Chase and Odell are like the guys where like can take a slant or a screen and just
burn you though. Jamar Chase can burn you. Yeah, though. That's the thing.
That's true.
So he is. I think he has the realm of possibility as finishing as the wide receiver 1. But like we said last year,
it's just gonna be hard for him to do 17 yards a catch or whatever it was. 16. Maybe somewhere around there. That's going to be hard to repeat, I feel like.
It is going to be hard to repeat. That's why I think T. Higgins is more of the safer play and the value play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Man.
But I'm still cool with Jamar Chase at his cost. He's just expensive.
Yeah, it's not like we're saying he's bad or anything.
Mm-hmm. This one's
just overdrafted.
This next one's going to be interesting, though. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams of the Chargers, guys. Keenan Allen going as wide receiver 10. Little pricey. Mike Williams, wide receiver 19. Last season, Keenan Allen, 24% target share. Mike Williams, 19% target share. Keenan Allen, 6 touchdowns. Mike Williams, 9 touchdowns. Keenan Allen, 25 red zone targets. Mike Williams, 23 red zone targets. Ike, let's start with you again. Who do you like at cost out of these two?
Well, since I just blew it in that last part, Mike Williams, since I believe he's going to finally take over Keenan Allen. But I just think it's that time. He got paid. He got his money. It seems like they're paying him as the number 1 guy. Keenan Allen's getting a little bit older. So I don't know. I would rather have Mike Williams considering he's going so late.
Oh, so stupidly late. Considering Mike Williams finished as, wide receiver 12 last year, a wide receiver 1, and he was inconsistent as
right.
All fuck.
And he disappeared at the end of the season.
He did, but he did that much in the beginning of the season to still keep him relevant as a wide receiver 1. And he was still that garbage on the way back. Like, he has those weeks where he can win you a week. All right. Now, I would like to believe that second year in this offense, it's going to be more consistent to him. Herbert, is not having a scheme change every year like Baker Mayfield had. So there's, some continuity there. And Keenan Allen is going to be taking most of the coverage. I mean, we saw it last year. When Mike Williams was going ham, the Chargers were killing teams. When he stopped, that was when the Chargers started losing games because they had to rely on Keenan Allen. So I think they realized that, hey, we kind of need to incorporate Mike Williams a little bit more consistently in this offense to win games. So I love Mike Williams' value this year. It's stupid. Dillon, go draft Keenan Allen. I'll take Mike Williams all day.
I like them both, man. I will just disagree with you a little bit. I think teams started trying to take away Mike Williams because they see him as a bigger threat. That's why I think he slowed down a little bit towards the end of the year. Like, teams are okay with Keenan Allen catching an 8-yard curl route over and over again. Teams weren't okay with Mike Williams burning you down the field and making a big play. That's the thing that scares me. But that's also saying a lot of how talented Mike Williams is. I do like Mike Williams' value, I think, a little better. I like Keenan Allen's consistency a whole lot better. But you have to pay up to get Keenan Allen, and I don't love him as my wide receiver 1 because his upside is capped, at 25 points a game when Mike Williams can hit you 35 on any given day. Stuff like that, just because of the touchdown upside. They're just two completely opposite players, And this is kind of a good bet.
Do you ever see Keenan Allen go deep? Have you ever seen him run a deep route?
he's just a great route runner, man.
He had to have run at least one, so that was impressive. He had to have
I can't remember exactly what it said, but I saw what was it? Keenan Allen's longest reception is 30 yards.
Oh my god!
And what was it? I think I saw it was Garrett Bradbury has a longer reception
I can get a longer reception than 30. Maybe.
It's
Not
kind
a
of insane
chance.
because he just doesn't.
Dude,
he's not a deep
these
guy.
hands are like glue, man.
You're gonna run a 12-yard post route and fall down, pal.
We should have done the flag football thing. You should have saw how good I would have been, all right? I rocked that flag football.
You want to check tape?
You want to check tape? I feel like that's our goddamn motto. We say it at least once an episode, guys.
Ike, you're actually one pick away from Scott Fishbowl. Damn it, Darnell Mooney got picked.
That sucks. Snipe.
Did quarterback get picked?
Mac Jones is the last quarterback to go. So you're still all right. Your boy Davis Mills is still out there, man. So you don't got to worry about that.
No, Bethany Pierce is going to take him, man. She's been taking everybody, man.
But let's rate it back in here. Let's hop back into some new teammates here, guys. Tyreek Hill and Jaylen Waddle. Both pretty expensive. Tyreek Hill going as wide receiver 8. Jaylen Waddle as wide receiver 14. Excuse me.
You're excused.
Well, Plant, I'm going to start with you on this one. Who would
Go
you
ahead.
rather have at cost?
You want my honest opinion?
Yeah, that's why I asked. You, pal.
Neither.
Bingo. That's what I was going to say. I'd rather not do it.
I get it. The potential's here. I get it. It's Tyreek Hill. I get it. New coaching staff with Logic lookalike. I can't remember his name.
Mike McDaniel, right?
Mike McDaniels. Thank you.
Logic look like.
But I don't want much of this offense unless you're getting it at an absolute value. And right now, the way they're getting drafted, there's really not much value there, guys. I mean, Tyreek Hill is still going as a wide receiver 1, and Jaylen Waddle is 2 slots out of being a wide receiver 1. I get it. Jaylen Waddle finishes wide receiver 13 last year. But when we draft, we don't draft at ceilings, guys. We draft at floors, and you're 1 pick off of drafting him at his ceiling. So there's no value there.
Questions about Joe Burrow supporting 2 top wide receivers. Now you're thinking that with Tua, close to with Tua, and he hasn't proven shit.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
Ike.
good
I
luck.
was thinking the same thing.
Oh, I'm going to play devil's advocates here because, I mean, that's what we're here for. We're here for our opinions. It's absolutely possible. They can do it. These 2 wide receivers are probably the fastest guys in the league.
Yeah, all
That
Tua
was
has
bad
to do is give him a screen pass, man, and they could just
One
go
thing
take
is
it to the
their
house.
defense is good though, so they might not have to play from behind all the time, so they might not have to throw all the time.
But
That's
if
why
they can't
go
run
ahead.
the ball, what they're going to do is they're going to just
Which they probably can't run the ball.
Yeah,
exactly.
they
They're
probably
going to
can't
do
run
quick
the
little
ball.
dump offs.
Offensive
Just
So they
like
line.
put
the Niners
Tyreek Hill at
are.
running back.
They got a million running backs, right? Yeah.
They have so many running backs, so they can just see whoever's doing good that day and just roll with them.
So, I mean, there's really no value here with these teammates at all.
I agree.
Mhm.
I'd rather
I
have
mean-
DJ Moore over Jaylen Waddle.
You
If
would,
I had
huh?
to choose, like a gun to my head, it's Tyreek Hill just because I've seen him finish as a top 5 wide receiver before. He can take a screen to the house at any point. I know Jaylen Waddle can too, but we've seen Tyreek Hill do it a lot more. But yeah, I don't like either of these guys.
I think I'd rather wait for Waddle a little bit longer. To be honest with you, here,
Still going too high, I feel like.
Yeah, no, I agree.
He's
But
going
yeah,
before DJ Moore, or Terry McLaurin. I don't know why I said TJ.
So Jaylen Waddle's going around, like overall 39, it looks like.
Yep, 39 and 40. Deontay Johnson's going around there. I'd rather have Deontay Johnson actually picked him over Waddle and Fishbowl. I'd rather have him over DK. I'd rather have him over McLaurin still. I guess I'm in on Waddle. Like I said, you just get him the ball in space and let him go, man. He saw 140
Would you
targets.
Him over
Tua,
DJ Moore?
Tua loves him. I think so, Ike. Tua has better quarterback play. Waddle has better quarterback play with Tua.
Waddle has better Tua play.
I think Waddle's going to catch 4 touchdowns because that's not DJ Moore's thing.
No,
I
4.
don't
That's
wanna-
the max.
And he might
That's
even
funny.
see more targets than him if you get a healthy season from Christian McCaffrey.
Ah, fuck, dude. DJ
So,
Moore just had like 160 targets or some shit, though, man.
With an unhealthy Christian
Without
McCaffrey.
again, that me and LaPlante were talking about that the other day.
Yeah, and Waddle had 140. That was without Tyreek Hill there, so it might go down 125, 130, but
There's no way they're not giving him at least 100 targets. It's just a matter of these targets are going to be good.
Agreed.
I think they'll be good because I think they'll be close to the line of scrimmage like they were last year.
That's what you're betting on. That's what you're betting on. But this is a brand new scheme. He may not go the Niners route. He might want to put his own little swirl and twist on this offense that may not work.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
maybe
all
he's
potential
going
that we're going
to
for here.
put what's his name in the doghouse like they did Ayuk.
Oh gosh,
Waddle.
feel
Put
bad
Waddle
for
in the
that.
doghouse.
no, please don't. Please don't. He's so talented. But I mean, we can pretty much move on if you guys want to.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm excited about this one, guys.
Yeah, this one's pretty sweet too. Denver Broncos, Jerry, Jeudy, Courtland, Sutton, guys going back to back at ADP. Courtland Sutton, wide receiver 26, Jerry Jeudy, wide receiver 27. Jeudy, 10% target share last year, but you got to take this with a great assault. Like you got to look at who their quarterback was last year.
He's also injured.
And now they got Mr.
Whoa. He's now
Unlimited.
Seattle's quarterback. You be careful now.
Well, Courtland Sutton,
likes hip-hop,
19% target shit. Yep. Courtland Sutton, in all honesty, was a bum last year. I mean, Jerry Jeudy was banged up, so that's his excuse. But Sutton was absolutely terrible.
Dude, he got outperformed by Tim Patrick.
Yes, I probably could have put Tim Patrick in with this group.
Sure.
That would have been all right. But
That would have been the guy for absolute value, probably,
right?
Because you're going to get him as a steal, and if one of these guys goes down, he's just going to slide right in because we've seen him do it before.
You a Jeudy guy, or are you a Sutton guy?
Sutton.
Really? Even
he reminds me most of DK.
You were the guy that was highest on Jerry Jeudy coming out of college.
It's changed, man. It's changed. Jeudy he drops the ball too much for one. He just for some reason can't catch that fucking ball. Sorry for swearing.
You don't have to. I said shit, motherfucker, piss. Go ahead.
But he's a crispy motherfucker route running though, man.
He is a very good route runner.
He's got a guy that can throw him open, and actually throw him the ball when he's open.
And you know what he does that Courtland Sutton doesn't? Separate.
Yeah, that's true because he's a good route runner. Mm-hmm. That's true. But you know what Courtland Sutton does a lot better than Jerry Jeudy?
Touchdowns.
Contested catches.
Theoretically, touchdowns.
Catch the ball, too.
Contested catches and deep ball percentage.
That's why I said he's going to be like DK.
Yeah, you could kind of lock it to Jeudy a little bit. I mean, it's probably a lazy comp. DK to Sutton and Jeudy to Lockett. And,
I wouldn't say
I
that
like
Sutton's
the route
exactly DK.
Maybe Jeudy will be boom and bust, and then Courtland will be the main guy. Or either way, one's going to be boom or bust, I feel like.
See, I don't know. I've been seeing so much, word from beat writers about Courtland Sutton and Russell Wilson, getting together, getting the chemistry going, getting passes thrown, and Jerry Jeudy. Well, with his legal situation, I mean, I don't know exactly what's going on with it, but he seems to be, in the clear. But he's had to deal with that and hasn't had this time.
He hasn't been able to meet. He hasn't been able to meet them for breakfast.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Robert Woods last year. I mean, he didn't have the opportunity to have breakfast with Matthew Stafford like Cooper Kupp.
I love breakfast.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford's fiancés or wives or girlfriends are best friends too. So no wonder why he threw it to himself.
That's funny.
Bromance times.
Yeah, they're meant to be together.
Yeah, right.
But I love Courtland Sutton in this one. I mean, he's only going one pick ahead of Jerry Jeudy. One pick at wide receiver 27 is not that bad. I mean, he has the potential to finish as a wide receiver 1. We haven't seen it yet, but we've seen what he can do when he remains healthy with shitty quarterback play.
What did he finish as 2 years ago?
Shit.
What did he finish as before his ACL, I mean?
I think he was a wide receiver 2-ish. Yeah, top 24.
20?
Yeah. I think what I'm gambling on here is
he had in 2019 with, I want to see who the quarterback was, Joe Flacco, Drew Lock, and I believe this was even Kendall Hinton's year.
Yeah,
No, that was the next. That was the next year, I think.
Yeah,
that was the next year. But he had Joe Flacco and Drew Lock, and Courtland Sutton had 1,000 yards on 72 receptions.
Yeah, so he,
yards.
yeah, probably wide receiver 2 somewhere around there. So yeah,
at Joe Flacco throwing him the ball majority.
Right.
So imagine Russell Wilson now. Like, at least we've seen him do it one time before healthy.
I think they're both
We
good
have yet
value,
to
to
see
be honest.
Jerry Jeudy do it healthy one time.
Yeah.
So
No,
they're both good values, though. Absolutely. Can't argue with that.
I'm going with Jeudy just because I think he's a more talented receiver. I'll just leave it.
He was drafted
Sure.
earlier than Courtland Sutton.
Sure.
Absolutely.
But we got one more team here, guys. We're running a little long. We're gonna close it out with the Kansas City Chiefs and their hodgepodge of wide receivers. We got JuJu Smith-Schuster, wide receiver 37. Pretty good value, guys. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, wide receiver 53. Skyy Moore, wide receiver 54. Mecole Hardman, wide receiver 61. Guys, who is the guy you want out of this wide receiver core?
I think they're all stupid value.
I agree with that.
But the one, I guess, that I would go out and, reach a little bit for would probably be JuJu.
He did in Scott Fish too.
Let's see. He's going as wide receiver 37.
He took him as 31 in Scott Fish.
31? You know what? That's fine for me because Scott Fish is a whole different beast.
He has the best possibility of finishing as a wide receiver 2, I would assume, is the best possibility for one of them.
At least I think he'd be the most targeted wide receiver.
Agreed.
I mean, he's not going to be the most targeted weapon. That's Kelsey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the most targeted wide receiver, absolutely the easiest realm of outcome for JuJu over Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Mecole Hardman, and the rookie Skyy Moore.
Why the Chiefs get a bunch of guys that are like nobody likes? Like JuJu's super inconsistent. Marquez Valdez-Scantling can't catch a ball to save his life.
I'm curious, guys, what they're
Mecole Hardman, just who knows?
Are they going to line JuJu up outside? Because Travis Kelce plays a lot in the slot. So what's the plan here?
I can't see them lining JuJu in the slot. And I can't see them lining Travis Kelce much in the slot either. I think Travis Kelce is going to play most of his time in the tight end position and still be the number one targeted guy. It's just, how can you play those guys in the slot when you have players like Skyy Moore and Mecole Hardman and MVS that can't play outside?
Mismatch.
MVS has to play outside.
Yeah, he's a speedster. He's played outside. No
Same
doubt.
Mecole Hardman. They're going to be your two burners
That's why
while JuJu works inside.
Yeah, that's why it's a little weird with the draft pick of Skyy Moore, because he's more of your prototypical smaller slot receiver in my eyes, anyways. That's why it's like you said, LaPlante. It's a little goofy that they signed JuJu, who is kind of he's a slot receiver, but he's a different slot guy. He's kind of a bigger slot.
He can play outside,
but it's not great.
Steelers used him in the slot all the time.
Yeah, because you had the best wide receiver maybe in NFL history with Antonio Brown on that.
Whoa, Jerry Rice, my man.
I understand that,
but for 6 years he was fucking amazing.
Antonio Brown was unbelievable, man.
5 years.
Probably one of the best fantasy wide receivers.
No, look at the stats, bro.
I get it. I get it. He's an asshole.
Do you not remember what Jerry Rice did?
No, I don't remember what Jerry Rice did, to be honest.
I wasn't alive.
But I would personally take Randy Moss over both of them. He's the guy that I think's the best receiver of all time.
I think Randy Moss was the most talented by far. Most talented.
We're just going off right now.
But is he though?
You can't say that though.
He do a
Jerry
slant?
Rice leads every single
Could Randy Moss do a
wide
slant though?
receivers.
Was he the most talented, or was he just super fast and could go deep and had Dante Culpepper who can just
catch every fucking thing?
Like, did he do a curl flip?
Everything.
I don't know.
He didn't need to.
Did he do a screen? Probably. Did he do a slant? Unlikely.
He's incredible, though, man. But let's write it back in. We went from JuJu Smith-Schuster to Mecole Hardman to Randy Moss.
Megatron's the guy, all right? Megatron's the guy.
We're off the rails.
Lions ruining all these careers.
I think JuJu at wide receiver 37 off the board is very solid play. Like he
That's
might
not
be
even
able
wide
to start
receiver
him.
3. That's wide receiver 4.
Yeah, you might be able to start him in your flex every week and be okay with 12.
You
to
should
15
be able
points.
to on the Chiefs offense,
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna pass the ball. They're gonna put up points. This is the Chiefs, guys.
especially with that running game.
But yeah, you guys got anything else to add? Ike, it looks like you're still one pick away in Scott Fishbowl, so we don't
We don't get to do a live
don't get
pick,
a live pick.
You don't
See
get
who
to
would've
see
went
me
quarterback.
in it again.
So
Right.
since we know it's not going to be a quarterback, why don't you give us a hint to who it's going to be?
Oh, fuck, I should look at the select players. Might as well.
But we will be back next week. I know we took a week off. I was on vacation. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what we're going to do for an episode. I know we've been talking about maybe doing a mock draft. The plan, I actually had one in my head since Ike is like a professional ranker, and he's going to be a ranker on Fantasy Pros, and he's a ranking expert on the website. We should do like a rankings roast.
You're loosely using that word expert.
Yeah, sure. But we should do a rankings roast LaPlante where we find players who we completely disagree where Ike has them ranked.
Dude, yeah.
And just go off on him. What do you think about that?
I mean, honestly, we should all just throw rankings together and just do it together.
Yeah, we could. I think we did that last year too.
But we didn't do a rankings roast. I do like that idea.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Sure.
Just don't go too hard into it, okay?
But we are still in
No,
July.
I go hard in the paint.
We are still in July, so we got plenty of more off season to go through. And like you said, we'll probably start mock drafting here. August is the big mock draft month, so I'm sure we'll probably have.
That's when everyone starts drafting. Yep.
Yeah, we'll probably have a couple on the Fantasy Six Pack YouTube channel, so check that out. Ike, did you check out to see who you're thinking about drafting, Scott Fish, or no? Are we?
The wide receivers don't look great, so it's gonna be quarterback.
Nice.
I'm finally gonna have to pull the trigger, unfortunately.
Davis
Brings it to my mind a
Mills,
little bit.
Carson Wentz, Daniel Jones.
Danny Dimes, bro.
Yo,
my guy.
Danny Dimes is.
I can't believe it because 3, 2, and even last year I was like this guy. I don't like him. Screw him. Now it's like I'm praying for him.
Sure. But yeah, I think that wraps it up, guys.
You want a guy who only throws 61.9% of the time of a completion?
I mean, shit, you drafted a guy who throws 58%, so
Yeah. 59.7. If you're gonna come at me accurate. Second off,
fair enough.
Daniel Jones didn't have Urban Meyer running the show there. I'm
But
sorry,
he did
Urban
have
Meyer was a joke.
Joe Judge, the gavel.
I hate to break it to you, Joe Judge was better than Urban Meyer.
No shit,
probably.
Urban Meyer's an idiot.
Exactly. So you can't go any worse with Trevor Lawrence, man.
That's fair.
But
It's only up.
all right, guys,
This podcast.
we'll be back next week to talk to you. Like you said, we don't know what we'll do, but we'll figure it out. For Micah
Jameis
Plant,
Winston
Ike
just-
Bonney, I'm Dillon Clements. Talk to you next week. See you guys.
Peace out.